they're up. How are you? Everybody turn around and wave to our viewers online, right? All the people at home for today. That's good. We are of the joy of becoming, which is really our only reason we're being here, is to become. That's the only thing that's here. So we're going to get started, I think, with a little bit of music. Is that correct?
Yeah. We've got praise and then a congregational song.
Wonderful. We are gifted with some beautiful music, please. Thank you, Bienvenido. Appreciate it. We're gifted with the wonderful presence of a wonderful musician. And I want to thank Ms. Silva, Mr. O'Hara for their kind and wonderful, generous, gifted work. We're in the presence of gifted people, so thank you very much. And to Ms. Mental, who's lovely, and we're pleased to have her on platform today as well. So we're going to begin with an opening prayer. So here we go.
Good morning, CSL family. And good morning to all those in their warm, safe home listening to such a joyful message today. So let's just close our eyes if you care to and just take a breath, knowing that that breath is full. It is full of love. It is full of joy. It is full of harmony, knowing that everyone this morning is full of the love that is all there is. Knowing that the music is divinely, joyfully inspired. Knowing that the words from Reverend Drew this morning are going to have your soul, have your heart smile. The words are so beautifully. This I know because I am so grateful to have been in the presence of the great divine, the one and only creator of us all. So with that, let us sit back, let us breathe in the beautiful day this morning, knowing that all is good. And from a dear, dear woman that I love dearly says, God is good. God is good all the time. So with that, let us say, and so it is.
We're just going to take a minute and center ourselves in meditation. So just get comfortable if you can. Put your things down. Put your hands comfortably in your lap for a second. Take a deep breath. Sit upright. The word is tranquil and alert. Tranquil and alert. We're awakening our mindfulness and our concentration. So just take a deep breath in. Let it out. Gently close your eyes if you wish, or keep them open. And all you're going to do with this right now is just watch your breath. Notice it in and out. Just allow your mind a moment to rest. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, except here. And if you find your mind wandering, welcome to the human race. Gently, kindly, note it as thinking, let the thought go, and return again to the breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Take one more deep breath. Look around you. You are here. Welcome. Now we're going to do our lighting of our Advent. Wonderful ritual.
Good morning. And before I start lighting the candles, I'd just like to read something to you. So please know that the third Sunday in Advent is called Gaudete Sunday, meaning rejoice. It encourages us to live in a spirit of joy all the time. Know thyself is an ancient Greek aphorism and is the key to a happy life. Oops, sorry. So I will now light the candles. And with each candle, know that I am saying a special prayer, knowing that life today is beautiful, it's joyful, and there's nothing holding back. We need to go beyond what people say about us and come to a deeper consciousness of who we truly are. Let us experience joy today and every day.
Now we have some more wonderful music from Anjali and Terry. Take it away.
We are one in harmony, singing in celebration. We are one in celebration. We are one in harmony, singing in love. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in love. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in love. Well, you know, we've waited a long time just to remember our song. But we waited so long and we're opening now to the song that we all come from. We are one with the light that shines with everything that lives. And when love opens up your heart, then you can truly give. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in love. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in love. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in love. We are one, singing in celebration. We are one, singing in what? Singing in love. Thank you so much for singing.
I have to know how fortunate we are to have such gifted musicians with us today. Let's give them another round of applause. They truly offer a gift. It's amazing. That's a tough thing to do. That's a hard thing to do, to express your feelings, your songs. So I just want to acknowledge how blessed we all are this morning. And we just feel that. Take note of how you feel. We're going to talk about that today, but take note of how you feel right now. Take a deep breath. How do you feel right now? Okay? That's part of what we're going to talk about in becoming, is noting how you are feeling, because that is what you are becoming. Okay? But we'll talk about that in a minute after we do announcements and some music. We have some wonderful messages this month coming up. I'm doing today. I'm Reverend Drew Ebersole, as I said. And then the very gifted and wonderful Reverend Matthew Brecht will be with you the next week. And then I'll be back for Christmas Eve service for any who wish to attend. And then he'll be doing another Sunday. So Francis is taking a little well-deserved rest right now and doing a little bit of traveling and a little bit about. And we're kind of taking over for her to give her that much-deserved rest time. It's hard getting up every Sunday and doing these messages. So let's send her lots of love. I also want to just take a moment right now and just think about all the people that need healing right now. I know there are some other people that are experiencing some challenges, and even of our own bodies. Let's just take about just 10 or 15 seconds and just send healing to ourselves and to all beings right now that are in physical suffering and mental suffering. Let's just send them all well-being. Excellent. Thank you very much. That's a good practice to do. That gets you in alignment with becoming again. We're going to have a New Year's Eve celebration as well, a Brazilian concert with the wonderful Anjali, who's amazing. So please come to that. That's from 7 to 9 p.m. And we'd love to have you here. Tickets are $50. It's very inexpensive considering what you get to witness. We are having some wonderful classes coming up in January. January 4th and the 1st is a mental equivalent course. It's part of being part of the Science of Mind group. These are all in your bulletin as well, so I invite you to take a look at that. January 5th is a Spiritual of Living Connection Circle on Wednesdays. January 15th, with our wonderful Bev Holland right here, is the Square of Life Workshop. So please, I've taken classes from her. I did when I first got here. She's a wonderful teacher. So I invite you to consider that as well. January 16th is our new member orientation, and our annual membership meeting is on January 30th. But again, all the other announcements are in your bulletin. So we've sent healing, we've meditated, we're becoming very present and here. And now we get the gift of another song.
This is a composition from Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach called Return Again. And sing along or close your eyes and feel the message of this amazing song. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to what you are. Return to who you are. Return to where you were born and reborn again. Return to what you are. Return to who you are. Return to where you were born and reborn again. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, die, die. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Lie, die, 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 lie, die, 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 lie, die, 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 die. Return to what you are. Return to who you are. Return to where you were born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul.
Okay, good. Thank you, guys. All right. Are you primed? Are you ready? I feel ready. I feel really ready. Let's take a deep breath again. And this is to arrive. You have nowhere to be. There's nowhere to go except right here. And that's true for every moment of your life. So today is the joy of becoming. And I just want to offer a couple of thoughts really quickly before we begin. Because the joy of becoming does not mean happiness every second or pleasure every second. In fact, pleasure is not happiness. The joy comes from the acceptance, the embrace, the loving of what is. Can we love what is right now? All the challenges. As many of you know, I've been through extraordinary challenges. I had a brain tumor taken out, and it caused facial paralysis and deafness on the right side. But was it bad? Was it hard? Was it good? did it help me grow? Can you see that what is the joy of becoming? The joy comes from the release and the stopping of the fighting and pushing away, and the stopping of the grasping and wanting all the time, and just arriving where you are. Doesn't mean we don't work for things to be better. Doesn't mean we don't fight for what we believe in, but we do so without an internal sense of aggression, anger, greed, or fear. Because that is what we become. Here's what we want to really talk about this morning. Our community has a symbol. It's the V. You see right there, the V. And what I like to really think about, just to put this in context, is everything they understand from like theoretical physics to spirituality is that somehow there's some other reality projecting into what we're feeling now. So really, we're living in some kind of movie, some kind of projection, some kind of earth school, if you will, right? And so even science says this. They estimate that this is where it's coming from. So we have validation from all areas. So the V is it coming from that source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. The understanding of it is what matters. And it comes down into that medium, into us. We are the ground level existence, the touching, the feeling, the hands, the eyes, the heart of this one spirit. And we are all connected. The illusion is that there's nothing that we are not connected, but the reality is that we are connected. And as we live down here, we don't have any institutional knowledge of that one. Why? Because it would defeat the purpose from living in wonder, awe, and beginner's mind. We'd be cynical. We'd be like, oh, yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, have the mug, right? But instead, we're like, this is brand new. So that's why we have no memory of being eternal. We're all eternal. We just don't know it. Why? Because it's like your child coming down on Christmas morning and looking at the tree for the first time. You live vicariously through that. Because the other part of the V that we don't have to talk about is the one that goes back up. And it goes back up because from energy comes matter, us. And what we do, and this is true on a quantum level, if you look at particles reappearing and disappearing, is we feed energy back into the one as life. And what we feed is how we live. What we feed is how we think and feel every moment. So take that deep breath again. Because what you're doing right now is you're feeding energy back into the one, and it's circling back around, back down and up. Right? Besides, in this life as we know it, there is no past and future. I like to say, if those are real places, take me there right now. Can you take me there right now? Not yet. We're not living Back to the Future, the movie. We don't have time travel ability, so we can't go anywhere. So what is reality? Reality is only the present moment. It's the only thing you will ever touch and feel and know and smell and taste. It's the only reality. So, take a deep breath again. That's why we want total presence and awareness of how we are living. That is what we are becoming. Right? And it's beautiful. When we start to release worry and we start to release anxiety about it being something other than what we are living, we start to experience peace. And that peace is what we become. There are 3 words we're going to focus on real quickly this morning, and that is believing, believing, how we live, behaving, how we act, what we reinforce, and then becoming, what we become. What we believe influences how we behave, determines what we become. That's it. It's not rocket science. What we don't know is that it works for everything. If we are anxious all the time, if we feel aggressive towards something, if we feel comparison, contrast, and I wanted and somebody else didn't have, and we shrink in that, if we allow things to consume us, or we ruminate about thoughts of deficiency or pain or anguish, we're not acknowledging it in the way, we're letting it dominate, and that is what we become. You can see people in your life, you know people in your life who constantly watch news channels and think everything's falling apart. Oh, the crime is so terrible. Yes, there are things we have to deal with, but those are not the only things, right? Here's a little fact. Your brain processes about 11 million pieces of information every second, which is astronomically huge. 11 million. Guess what your conscious mind can focus on? 40. 40. Talk about a narrow band. So the question is not what's reality. The question is, what part of reality are you focused on? What are you becoming? Take a deep breath again. That's why we do that. Breathing grounds us in the only reality we know, the present moment. So believing is understanding how we're thinking. How we're thinking creates what we believe every second. And if we allow ourselves, our brain loves to, here's another little factoid about your brain. You think about 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 thoughts a day, roughly. That's huge. And most of them are repetitive. And unfortunately, they're finding through neuroscience, most of them are negative. So we're learning to shift that because that's what we control. I cannot control anything outside of me, really. What I can control is how I process the world, what I believe, how I behave, what I become. Right? I'm going to tell you a little story that illustrates this very nicely. Now, lots of them, but this one really struck me. So I do provider coaching, physician coaching. And I went in with a physician one day, and we were just sitting there, and as we were starting out, he was working on his computer, and he was working on his electronic medical records, which is a system that we're all interlinked in that helps us understand where everybody's care is. As he was working on it, he did this. I hate this electronic medical record system. It's ruining my life. And he typed a little more. He said, it's the bane of my existence, he says. He's like shaking and doing all this, right? And he's fighting against it. He's like, I can't stand it. He got up and he walked out of the room and he comes back. He's like, it's frustrating. And I just sat there and took notes. After a little bit, we coached a little more and I said, can I offer some reflection back to you? Because this is what we do. We honestly reflect back what we're seeing. I said, within the first half an hour of me being here, you complained about the electronic medical records 10 times. He went, I did? I said, not only complained about it, here's what you said. And he was aghast. He said, I said all that? I said, you said all that. And so I said, what's that doing for you? And he was stopped cold in his tracks. He said, it's probably hurting me? I said, is it changing the electronic medical record? And he was very, very quiet. And after I coached, I left him that day, and he just sat there. You could tell he was just thinking. The wheels were just turning. And so I left, and I went away and came back a month later. In between the time I was there and I came back, the electronic medical record system for the hospital crashed for 2 days. It means it went down. It was non-operable. So if the guy was frustrated before, I thought, he's going to be off the hook right here when I come back. So I come back into his office a month later. I come in. He's upright. He wheels around in his chair. He holds a book up to me that says, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I said, what's going on? He goes, you were 100% right. It wasn't the electronic medical record. It was my thinking around it that was creating the problem and the anxiety and the difficulty for me. And so I started reading this, understanding this, and actually what happened was when the electronic medical record crashed for 2 days, instead of going off the hook and quitting, which I probably would have done before, I called my staff in, and we all gathered around the table. We ordered some donuts and coffee, and we said, what are we going to do? How are we going to have fun? We got a whiteboard out, and we created a workaround, and how are we going to manually work with it all? And we were high-fiving and hugging each other, and he goes, were they tough days? Yes, but he says, in all honesty, they were two of the best days I've had in medicine in the last 15 years. So, what does that tell us? It tells us that the conditions don't determine how we feel and operate. We think they do, but it's not true. How we feel and operate is determined by how we feel and believe. Period. So he looked at me at the end of that session, and we talked, and he said, you know what? He goes, in all honesty, he wrote me a note to confirm this. I was already quit medicine this year. I was going to retire. But he goes, because of this, I have 10 more good years of practice left in me. He's a better doctor. He's going to influence more people. He's going to change the world. So if you think that focusing on ourselves is selfish, it's the exact opposite. It's selfless. It's altruistic. Because what you're doing is you're making a better world by making a better you. So what are we becoming? Right? We know it has an impact, but it's hard sometimes, right? We get sad. We feel depressed. We feel self-critical or anxious. So that's why part of it is about acceptance of what is. Part of it is about understanding that we don't have to fight against the challenges that come to us. When we embrace them, as hard as they might be, they're good medicine. They help accelerate our growth and development. So I'm going to talk to you about something right now which has to do with self-compassion. When we talk about becoming, part of the thing I found through all of the coaching and all the work that our company has done, Excel 180, and my partner, Sherry, and I, my business partner, is that one of the biggest challenges is self-critical thinking. And we know you know it, but it's all over us. We have so many subterranean voices that are so critical, right? Ways that we speak to ourselves that we would never talk to another friend. Boy, that was stupid. Why'd you do that? Or I can't stand it. Or I hate that. Or what? You look terrible. You're fat. You're ugly. You're stupid. Whatever. We say these things to ourselves a lot. And why? Would we ever say this to anybody else? Would you turn to your best friends or people around you right now and say that? No. So why do we think we could say that to ourselves? And here's a little piece. There's a lot of research on this. Robert Flanagan wrote a book called The Kindness Cure. And he points out that self-criticism does nothing more than make you feel stuck, especially if you're feeling an underlying sense of depression, anxiety. Replacing this kind of disapproval and self-judgment with self-compassion allows you to accept that you are flawed in a gentle way that helps you strengthen mental wellness. Compassion improves your health by strengthening your immune system, normalizing your blood pressure, lowering stress and depression, improving your physical recovery from illness, and even extending your life. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it right now. We're going to do a little exercise that I want you to think about using all the time. I'm going to read through it. It's a self-compassion exercise. So you're going to put down your stuff for a second. And this is part of becoming. The joy of becoming, the joy of it is the joy of believing, becoming compassion. That's joy. When you become compassion, you have a joy like you can't even imagine that transcends sweets and pleasures and treats and television and all that. They're all fine, but they don't hold a candle to the joy of becoming compassion, gratitude, love. So here we go. This is a self-compassion break and something you can do any time of the day when you need a little bit of lift of self-compassion. So the practice exercise needs you to call up here a little bit of suffering. So I invite you to think about a situation in your life right now that may be difficult for you. Maybe you're stressed, or maybe you're having a relationship problem. Maybe you're worried about something that might happen to yourself, someone else, in your body. Think about it. That's something difficult, but not overwhelming necessarily. It's something that you want to practice self-compassion on. Finding a situation and getting in touch with it. What's going on? What happened? What's happening now? Who said what? Really bring that situation to life in your mind's eye. Just allow it to exist. No judgment. Now we're going to go through a series of phases about it. Help us remember there are 3 components to self-compassion that we need most. The first phase is that this is a moment of suffering, right? We're bringing mindful awareness to the fact that suffering is present. It's here. It's okay. Now, find a little language around something that speaks to you like, this is really hard right now, or I'm struggling, or actually turning toward your difficulty and acknowledging it, just naming it. Pain. It's real. It's okay. It's a moment. Now, the second phase, it's a part of life. Reminding ourselves of our common humanity, because we all have it. It unites us. It's okay. It's okay to have a little bit of suffering. It's part of life. Now we're part of a community, a global community of people that have joy and suffering. And something that might speak to you in the language of, it's not abnormal to feel this way. Many people are having this. It's part of being human. Doesn't that feel good? The third phase. Now, you're going to be really thoughtful about this. Offering kindness to yourself. Supporting yourself with kindness. So I'd invite you even to put your hands over your heart if you feel like you can do it. Just touch yourself. Something that feels soothing and comforting. Feeling the warmth or the energy of your hands. Gentle touch. Letting that feeling of being soothed stream through your body. May I be kind to myself. Perhaps language that you would use as you would say to a good friend that you cared about that's going through something similar. Something like, I'm here for you. It's going to be okay. I care about you. You can even just say your name or dear one. Hey, Drew, I'm here for you. I got you. Anything that feels natural, but really feel it. Feel that you're caring for yourself right now as you would a dear, dear friend. And then say, I accept myself and love myself exactly as I am right now. I'm good. I am good. I'm human. And I always give my best. Let yourself feel that. And then taking a deep breath, just let it go. Just release it. Let it float away. Realize that you're still here, but whatever that was transitory. You're still solid, and you're still real. Now open your eyes if you want. Take note of how you feel right now. Take a deep breath. How does that feel? To be that kind to yourself. That's what we're going to do. We're going to replace habits where we're mean to us. We're going to replace habits where we're fearful, where we're not certain. And we're going to let go and release. And we're going to practice. This is one thing. You can practice gratitude. You can practice being laughter. You can practice anything that you want to. But you have to realize that it is what you are setting as what you are believing, how you are behaving, because it influences that. And what you are becoming. Because when you practice this, you know what you become? You become compassion. And that's what you bring to the world. So getting unstuck, letting go, becoming what we choose to become consciously, right? Focusing our 40 bits on what we want to see day to day. Like the doctor, right? So I want you to do one other thing as we note becoming. Take a second to the people around you and just greet them. We're only going to take about 15 seconds here. Just greet them and say, I see you. It's good to see you. Just take a second and say, it's good to see you. Hi. And hello. I'll wave to the people at home. We see you. We see you. All right. Guess what? Take a deep breath again. How does that feel? That small exercise. That's what you're becoming. Isn't that wild? We don't even think about it. That's what we're becoming. When we practice compassion and seeing each other and loving each other, that's what we become. Wow. I don't have to go and lift the burdens of the world. I just have to focus on that which I can control. Isn't that lovely? I just want to offer a thought to another little story that kind of illustrates this as we wrap this up. So a number of years ago, my father was 93, passed this last spring, and was an amazing human being that I love very, very dearly. My mother too, but I'm just going to focus on my father for right now. He had Alzheimer's toward the end of his life. And he was a very smart man, PhD, bright, capable, wonderful, great leader, kind as all get out. Talk about embodying kindness. And as he had Alzheimer's, he would start to repeat questions. My mother would get very frustrated, so notice what's happening with what she's becoming, right? Frustrated, fearful, anxious. Doesn't mean we don't feel pain, we just don't get stuck there. And I was with him in the car, and I had at least some wherewithal to realize he couldn't help it, so why should I worry about it or fight it? So we're in the car, and we're driving along, just the two of us. And he's visiting, and he's saying, what are we going to do tomorrow? And I said, oh, I think tomorrow, Pop, we're going to go to the Glass Museum. Oh, okay. 10 seconds later, what are we going to do tomorrow? And now I stopped, and I went, let go. And he answered as if it was the first time he was asking. I said, oh, tomorrow I think we're going to the Glass Museum, Pop. 10 seconds later, what are we going to do tomorrow? I think we're going to go to the Glass Museum, Dad. Doesn't that sound exciting? Oh, yeah. That sounds good. 10 seconds later, same thing. It went on for about 20 times. And I noted I just stayed calm, and I just loved him. And then he stopped for a second, and he looked over at me, and he said, you're making this very nice for me. And what he was saying was he knew there wasn't something quite right. But he was so grateful that I was loving him as he was in that moment. And I just reached out and I just held his shoulder as I drove. And he just held my hand. And the two of us just had a beautiful moment of love right there. And he didn't ask the question again. So what was I becoming in that moment? What was I believing and behaving and becoming in that moment? And even so for him, what was he becoming in that moment? What were we becoming in that moment? Our world today desperately needs that kind of love and healing and attention. Not more fire and hate. People fiercely standing up for what they believe in. Doesn't mean anything about weakness. It's actually called muscular compassion. It makes you stronger, more fierce. Think Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, Jane Goodall. That's what they did. They believed. They behaved. They became. So for each of you, be conscious of what you are believing. Behave in alignment. Forgive yourself and offer compassion when you fail. I fail? I'm okay. But I try. And I stay aligned with that belief. And then what happens is I experience the joy of becoming. So my knowing for you today is that you're aligned with that joy of becoming. And you're going to make this moment and every moment hereafter beautiful. Bless you, and thank you very much.
the skin on the outside. I am not my age, I am not my race, my soul inside is all light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. Sing with me. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light.
Just breathe that in again and feel that wonderment, that awesomeness, that presence as we move through. So now I think we're going to take our offering. And if you want to, take that offering and take it in your hand right now, real quickly, if we can. And we're just going to all just hear these words or say them along if you know them. But it's divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Wasn't that powerful? Wasn't that just such a feeling of graciousness, of joy? Thank you so much, Reverend Drew. You know, it just reminds me of my grandma who used to say, Laura Lee, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong today. Because that's what it is. Today is all we have. So let's just take a great deep breath. Knowing that we are manifestations of a light, of a spirit, of a joyful harmony that engulfs every inch of us. I know this to be true. I know that throughout the day, that your experience just comes back to the moment, knowing that there is light. God does not shed darkness. There is only light. And for that, we are whole, complete, and we are perfect spiritual beings, enjoying, living, loving, joyfully, no matter what there may be a challenge to overcome, to accept, to believe, to behave, and to become. To become that sunlight of the Spirit. Thank you, sweet Spirit. With that, I will release these words into the beautiful universe of love, of light, knowing that they will not come back. They are already done and completed. So with that, let us say, and so it is.
Now we have our closing song. And let's give her one more round of applause to our musicians today. And thank you, Laura.
I chose this song. It's the Abundance Song by Mantrananda. And sing along. I love to hear your voices. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Thank you for my health and the wealth and the love in my life. Thank you for today and the way that I learned from my strife. Thank you, universe. Thank you for everything. Thank you, goddess. You make me wanna sing. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Thank you for my health and the wealth and the love in my life. Thank you for today and the way that I've learned through the strife. Thank you, universe. Thank you for everything. Thank you, goddess. You make me wanna
Go forward, be blessed, and become all that you can be. Bless you, and so it is.